So I'm gonna, hey, Jordana here from Compass Learning Advantage, and I have my OT, Kristen. Kristen, nice to see you. How you
Hi,
doing?
nice to see you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. I just wanted to ask you a little bit about why did you choose to go into occupational therapy?
So when I was in middle school, I did some observation and I was working with the pediatrics hippotherapy, and we worked with kids of all different disabilities. And I just knew from then that I wanted to be an OT and just to really work with kids and just help them achieve to their best of their ability.
The hippotherapy, that means they're working with horses, right?
Yes, it was
That's
an amazing way to just use other areas of therapy and tie it in with OT.
that's awesome. And how did you find that more important, or why you were drawn to OT over working in a clinic?
So I found that working with OT, it's very individualized. So you really work with kids and see what they're motivated towards. And I really thought that that was the profession for me because I wanted the kid to be motivated to achieve their goals.
And you found greater motivation working with the horses, right?
Especially with the kids I worked with, they loved it. They were so eager to come to therapy and they were so excited. And that's really the most important part too.
Right. If you have a class that has a theme or something that makes it exciting, that makes you want to show up, that's the first part, right?
Exactly. And the kids are so eager to participate, and it's just really overall fun environment.
Yeah. I mean, riding horses and learning your skills, what's better than that?
Nothing. I
So
can't
tell
think.
me about, tell me about the zones of regulation. I know we've been talking about it a little bit, but I was hoping you could just help me understand it better.
Yes, of course. So zones of regulation is a teaching tool, and it's a framework to help simplify how we manage and think about our feelings. So I was actually trained in zones of regulation. I've been using it with my students since 2015. And I find that this is a teaching tool to really help our kids really work towards their independence of emotional regulation.
So what emotional regulation? Like I hear that, emotions, feelings, regulation. Can you just help me understand how the zones work and what that really means and the benefits of that?
Yes, of course. So within the zones, there are 4 zones. There's the blue zone, the green zone, the yellow zone, and the red zone. Each zone is when each of our feelings are managed in different ways. So some days we might feel tired or very low. This would be considered the blue zone. Some days we might feel very heightened. So this would be considered the red zone. So really the purpose is to figure out our feelings and identify what kind of feelings we have and understand how to manage these feelings. So I find that using the zones is an easier way for kids because it uses easy language and visual structure that really helps the kids identify themselves and others and to really manage what they're thinking.
So it could help a child make a choice between first probably saying, I feel, and they could understand that through the zones, and then also make a choice on how to work through those feelings, right?
Yeah. So at the beginning of the course, we will really work on, okay, if you're feeling very mad, angry, you want to kick something, what zone are you in? The kid would then think, am I in the low blue zone or am I in the heightened red zone? And then they will be able to identify, okay, I'm in the red zone. What can I do to bring myself to a different zone?
That's excellent. So maybe what would a choice for a child in the red zone look like? So well, before we even get to that, essentially the zones of regulation allows for you to have a plan of, right? First you recognize what's happening and then you have a plan on what to do next. That's what you're saying?
So first we're going to identify and recognize each zone, and then we're going to talk in each zone and think, what are triggers that help us get into the zone? So for each kid, we might all have different triggers. Someone speaking really loud might trigger someone into the yellow or red zone, or someone ignoring you might trigger you into the red or yellow zone. So the next portion of this class would be to identify the triggers. And like we said, each kid will have their own triggers.
And part of being self-aware is understanding that what will trigger you so that you can be prepared to execute the plan that you have. So if I'm walking, and if I know that loud sounds trigger me, I can probably do something to self-regulate or prepare myself for the loud sound by activating a plan that I've been sort of trained on how to use on my own. I wouldn't need, if I master this skill, I don't need OT or zones of regulation classes. I just need to be continually practicing this skill. Is that right?
Exactly. So that's why the next portion would be to create a toolbox. I'm going to have each kid get their own toolbox that goes with each zone to help manage and think, if I'm emerging toward this zone, what do I need to do? Or if I'm in this zone and I want to stay in this zone, what can I do to allow myself to stay?
What would some activities be that could help with this regulating?
So for me, for example, if I want to be in the green zone, which is good to go, I might always have water by me. If I'm hydrated, that keeps me good to go. Or if I'm in the blue zone, I know for myself, I might need coffee as an adult to help me go into the green zone. So
And
these are stuff that help me, and we'll find those tools that will help each student.
the blue zone was the
Low.
low, right? So there, I need like a little boost.
Yes.
So so like in the morning, I know I like walk out of bed and I'm like, all right, turn the coffee on. It's so mindless, but that's me having a plan on, I already feel like this, I should have coffee, right?
Yes.
Maybe other people probably deal
Maybe.
with their feelings through like fun hobbies and activities. Is that
Exactly.
true?
Right. So in specific, each zone has their own reason behind it. So the blue would be the low, rest, re-energize zone. The yellow one would be take cautious. I might go towards the red, but I still have control over my feelings. The red zone is when we have to stop and think about what we're doing. And the green zone is the good to go, calm and collected.
Nice. So maybe in some of those yellow or red zones, I might recognize I probably need a break or I need to be alone.
And
And that activity could be like going for a run or journaling or drawing or just taking a breather, right?
Exactly. Like I always say, sensory breaks are great for all kids. And I find that using that strategy of a sensory break or a movement break is a great tool to have, especially if we're in the yellow or the red zone.
Yeah. And this probably works for a lot of our parents if they are even at the moment just not moving around that much because we're all in lockdown and quarantine. The idea to identify how you're feeling and maybe a movement break means to get up and walk around the block. And a movement break might be just something that simple. Just get up and walk around the block or go up and down the stairs, right?
Yes.
And it could be more that it's like we need to go for a run or we need to do a little bit more active or creative outlets.
Exactly. Like as adults, we have an easier time knowing what we need to manage our feelings and to regulate our emotions. Some kids need help with this. And that's why this class is a great way to help these kids to identify how they're feeling, where they are in regard to the zone, and what they can do to help manage and self-regulate.
That's amazing. I think really as an adult, I have this skill, but let me tell you, it took 20 something years for me to really recognize a lot of these internal triggers or these external triggers. And now I can say, yeah, I can adapt to a lot of different circumstances, but it took me 20 years to get it. And I went through a lot of trauma as a child not having this. So if I could give this to a young child and they can avoid that kind of trauma of feeling self-isolated because they're behaving certain ways and all they want to do is be with their friends, this could be a really important skill set, don't you think?
Exactly. I think this is a great time to really have this class because there is so much that's going on. But the good thing about this class is it's not just for now. It's for now and for the future. You will use this for the rest of your life. The things that I learned and I was trained in, I use on myself. I use it with my family and with my friends. And it's something that we can always learn from.
Yeah, that makes me think about at my job or at anyone's job, you might have the idea to take a mental health day, right?
Yes.
So this is relevant when you need to recognize when you need to
And
take those
develop.
mental health days, or I just need a vacation, and it's more than that. There's a lot of triggers going on. So
Exactly. I agree.
excellent. So lifelong skills, right? Might as well learn them young.
Exactly. It's the best way to be.
All right, Kristen, I want to thank you so much for explaining this to me and having a good conversation about it, because I think this is going to help some other friends, parents identify with what they can do over the summer and how they can empower their kids by providing these tool sets.
Of course, thank you so much for having me. And I'm so excited to work with all these kids and really teach them about this amazing teaching tool that can be used for so many different things.
It's
Thank you
going to
for
be
having
awesome.
me. Yes,
It's going
thank
to be
you.
great. All right, Kristen, so we will see you soon at class, right?
Yes, I'll see everyone soon.